everybody, and welcome back to Art a la Carte, and we have finally made it to the features of the face portion of Drawing People 101. So the next couple of videos I'm going to be taking different parts of the actual face, talking about them in depth, and then we will begin to throw it all together. So I'm going to begin starting with the center part of the face, which is the nose. Now if you haven't watched any of the other videos in the series about building a face or building the head structure or anything like that, I would recommend going back and rewatching those. It'll talk about the correct positioning and how to get everything so that it's looking at the right size and all that. So I will leave a link to that in the description box below for you to check out. But once you've watched that and you're comfortable, let's move on to the nose. In drawing the nose, it's important to recognize two very important shapes that make up the nose. The first is this kind of triangular shape, and the second are circles. If you can draw triangles and circles, you can draw noses. I know when you look at a face and you go, it looks hard, but if you can just remember, a nose is just made up of a triangle and some circles, it really begins to make it a little bit more simple for you. So first, let's take a nose looking straight on at it. And I'm going to use 3 circles, one larger circle and then 2 smaller circles. The larger circle is going to represent the ball of your nose, or kind of the middle portion of your nose, and the smaller circles are going to be the nostrils. Now I'm going to use slight little curved lines to show off where the nostrils are and the nostril creases on the side. You can also use it to help define the actual top part of the nose, kind of the ball of the nose, a little bit. Now I'll go ahead and draw it again without using my guidelines, just so you can see it a little bit more clear, but I would encourage you, until you get comfortable drawing the nose, just go ahead and use those guidelines. Now what takes it from being a cartoon flat nose and making it look more realistic is obviously shading and highlighting, which I'm not going to get into too much in this lesson. I just want you to feel comfortable being able to draw the actual structure of the nose. Once you understand the structure of the nose, then you can begin to morph it into different shapes noses, like wider noses, narrow noses, bigger noses, all that stuff. It just takes, stretching and pulling. Now let's look at the profile nose. This is where we're going to go back to that triangle shape. And you'll see that I have the triangle at a slight angle. It's not completely flat at the bottom. And then I'm using my ball shapes as well. Profile, you're only going to see 2 of the ball shapes, the larger one and one of the smaller ones, and you'll see how those kind of fit into the triangle there, and it really begins to then help you build that bridge of the nose. As you look at different people, you're going to see that a varying factor isn't just how big the ball of their nose is, but also the bridge of their nose. What is it doing? Some people's bridge of their nose swoops in further, and some of it kind of comes and protrudes out a little bit more. This helps you to give a little bit more personality to the character you're drawing, or helps you to capture that special person that you're trying to draw, really understanding and looking for those small little details. Okay, now we're going to talk about the 3/4 head. And again, if you haven't watched the video on how to draw a 3/4 head, I'll put a link to that in the description box below. But once you have the understanding of that, let's look at that nose. So the nose is very much connected to the eyebrow. And again, you're going to put in those circle shapes. The farthest away nostril might be hidden a little bit. You might see just a little bit of it. So go ahead and overlap the larger circle over the smaller circle until you get just the right angle, depending on how far you have your 3/4 look. You might have a larger hint of that farther nostril, or you might not see it at all. So now let's talk quickly about cartoon and animated noses, and I have to give homage to the ever popular anime culture face, which I will probably talk a lot more about when I do the eye segment, because in anime and manga, the eyes are like the main focus, and the mouth and nose are very minimal, but you can see you can get a really nice, a nose just with a small little bit of a line. Speaking of cartooning, have fun just stretching and taking different shapes and just playing around with it. I would take a piece of paper and just fill it up with tons of different types of noses, different shapes, all of that. It can be a little bit challenging, but with some practice, you definitely will be able to get it, so don't give up. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with me in this video. If you liked it, make sure to give it a thumbs up. If you're not a subscriber, make sure to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future videos. And until next time, God bless you guys, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye!